A Palmerston North Intermediate School is offering a genuinely free education next year as it scraps the costs of stationery, sport and even class trips. Ross Intermediate School plans to get rid of fees and at the same time rid children of the burden of having to ask their parents for the money. I spoke to the principal, Wayne Jenkins, a short time ago and asked him just what exactly is being promised.
Yeah, what we're proposing is to basically remove that barrier of a financial cost to kids being able to access, I guess, what you could call the extended curriculum, extracurricular activities such as sports and the like, so that everybody gets an opportunity to take part and participation hopefully will increase, which in turn will engage kids more in learning.
OK, so what does this cover? Does this cover everything from school camps to even stationery, computers? What is involved in this?
Sure, so basically we're covering everything, but what we're saying to parents is we're going to need a hand with camps. Camps are incredibly expensive, and to just fund camps for our school would cost over $150,000. So obviously that's not actually practical, and we find that most parents accept that. The Education Act does allow for schools to be reimbursed for things like accommodation and food costs, which are obviously outside the normal curriculum that we're delivering. But we are saying to parents we need a hand with camps. In regards to computers, all children at our school do have a computer, and majority of parents are happy to provide that. We have always provided a computer for any student who couldn't. So nothing's changed there. And obviously we do still have a school uniform, but we also have options for parents in terms of second-hand uniform, and our uniform's an affordable uniform as well.
OK, so what is it that parents would have been paying for that in 2018 they won't be?
So all sports, all activities, all stationery, testing that might be done outside the normal curriculum, such as the international tests and the such, will all be covered. Basically, we're putting just on $40,000 back into our parents' pockets that historically we've received.
Oh, is that right? So what would have been the average cost that they would have been paying that will be met by you in the next year?
It will depend on the participation that the student engaged with, but for some families we're talking the high hundreds. Kids who are taking part in a wide range of sports. Sports have become very expensive for schools and for community groups that run them. So for a lot of our families whose kids are heavily involved in sports, they're going to be looking at a good saving. But the aim is to hopefully increase the participation. So kids who historically maybe haven't bothered asking mum or dad if they could play cricket, all of a sudden won't have that need to say, and I need $40 as well. So hopefully we'll see participation in sports and activities increase. OK, your students' maths probably better than mine, but if you're putting $40,000 in, it's about $100 per child, isn't it? What's your role? Roughly 400 or 500? Yeah, just over 500 students, so it's about $80 a family.
OK, so, which will be welcomed, I'm sure, by many of them. How is it, Wayne, that you're actually able to do this?
Yeah, so basically it's through a realignment of administration costs. So we did a review, and we actually found out that the costs to charge parents is actually quite high when you take into account postage, printing, administration time. We're actually spending money to charge parents money. So we're actually, in our projections that we've made, we're going to save money by not charging parents.
Is that right? You actually
it's a bit of a paradox, but we're actually saving money by not collecting money.
So there's no one being cut off your administration team or anything like that? It's just a savings...
There's been a realignment of responsibilities, but there's been no job losses as a result. And the other thing to stress is that we're increasing spending in all our curriculum areas too. So we're not cutting reading or we're not cutting maths to make this happen. It is also unique because I guess we're an intermediate, we're a good-sized intermediate. That does make economies of scale, makes it a bit more affordable for us to do. I'm not saying that every school could do this, but every school in New Zealand is doing the best they can for their communities and supporting parents in a wide range of ways. So this isn't. We're not unique in this, but I guess we're just trying to really say education should be free, and we're trying to really capitalise on the pledge that the government have made to make it easier for parents. So hopefully this will help encourage the government to get behind schools, because schools are still underfunded. People could be listening to this and thinking, people say schools are underfunded and then they're making all this stuff free, but we are still grossly underfunded, and it's exciting that the government are going to be looking at that.
Because that's the policy whereby if you don't ask for donations, I think they give you...
150 a student.
150 a student, right. Hey, when was the light bulb moment, Wayne? When did you just think, well, bugger it, let's not just charge at all?
We've probably been working on it for the last couple of months. This year we introduced a student support scheme where anyone without questions asked could tick a box and we would cover their sport. But what we found is there's still a level of resistance for people to have to do that, to send in, I'm sorry, we can't afford it, please help us out. The joy of this policy is actually it's not asking people to make that choice. It's saying it's going to be free for everybody. You don't need to declare that you can't afford it because no one's going to be paying for it. Yeah,
so your school, I think, a decile 6, so you'd have some at the lower income earning end who were at your school who I imagine would be pretty relieved at a policy like this.
Yeah, I think so. And even just, your average mum and dad, your average family, both parents are working, any money in their back pocket is going to help them out. So, we've had a lot of feedback from our parents just saying, oh, look, this is really awesome, from a bigger picture point of view too of what it's sort of saying to the community. It's not just about, improving sports. It's about saying we want Ross Intermediate to be a school where you can come along and, we don't want to be ringing you and saying you owe us money. We want to be spending our time on trying to educate your kids that you send along.
Principal Wayne Jenkins there.